Hello, 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 it's your boy Mog, and we are back with some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Today, we're going to drop into the day two investigation of Case 5, Rise from the Ashes. So, last time we had the police chief, Damon Gant himself, come on down to the court and provide some testimony as to a link between another murder that took place at the same time as the murder we were already investigating. And the guy who was murdered in the other murder was also the guy who was murdered in our murder. So we've got a little bit of a conundrum to kind of figure out here. So let's jump in and get to investigating. Oh, no, don't overwrite. Let's just go. February 23rd, 2:15 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. Mr. Wright, so what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's this and the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're gonna find out. Or try to, at least. Alright, let's do it. Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's gonna be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go. Science awaits us. February 23rd, Prosecutor's Office. Underground parking lot. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in the evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. That oil drum. Was it empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. My sister. Erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never. Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes his sister. That's not it at all. It's just, we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is Luminol testing fluid. Luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. Me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it. Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of those things? To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Press enter to spray it on. Okay, let's find us some bloodstains. Alright, so there should be some near the car. I can see your eyes shining behind those glasses. So, is this a bloodstain? It's so... Ugh. Emma, you're shaking. It's just... This is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a bloodstain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Scientifically speaking, of course. What's odd about this, scientifically? The amount of blood, right? The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have to have been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright. I'm gonna mark up the floor plans when we find a blood stain, okay? See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah. And this stuff's pretty handy, too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Huh. Alright. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. Then let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah! It feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? Guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious. Ha! I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Starr. You only trust your own eyes, hmm? Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Sorry, it's just... that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. Let's see. Emma Sky. Ah, someone used a marker to write their name on this. Emma Sky. Don't tell me you bring this with you everywhere you go. Well, you never know where something might go down. Just what kind of a world do you think we live in? Phoenix, it's like this every day with you. I mean, even though there's, like, months between your cases, it feels like this is an everyday thing. Okay. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Starr, but... No, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry, you lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. Oh. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Starr? Yes. It was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up? They confessed. They babble like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I drag the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect. And before long they call me the cough-up queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you will let go? Fired? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case. The SL9 incident. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... what do you think about this? The SL9 incident. It's written on that knife. And on that note. Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know. Really? That knife was evidence from that case. The murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? What? Okay. What do you think about this? Okay, yeah. Let's show her this too. If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room. But even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime? Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The hole in my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, mister. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl. I've had my testimony disregarded before. And I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time? There it is. That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable? To who? 2 years ago. It was the biggest case I'd ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence. Yeah, there she is. Marshall, Goodman, and the guy on the lower left, I forget... The guy on the lower left, I feel like it's from a different game. So, they didn't solve it? On the contrary. It was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence. Not a shred. What? But the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence of a sort. Made up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be? Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Oops. I mean Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined. And then, it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9. There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices could stop us. Wait, those lunches you sell. There's only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends. Boyfriends that can help me investigate. Miss Star's old boyfriends. How many does she have, anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection. So, rookie. What? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Then you should take this. Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. Ah, good. Miss Star? Officer Marshall, is he your, are you his, are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. But now he's so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. I see. Thank you. Officer Jake Marshall. Well, I guess we should, maybe try the detention center. See if Lana Sky is there. Looks like Miss Sky is in questioning. I hope the detectives aren't yelling at her. How did you kill him in two places at the same time? Can you imagine? How's she supposed to answer that? Oh, wait a second. Didn't Mr. Gant say they'd arrested a suspect in the police department murder? Let's come back later. Oh yeah, I forgot. Who's the suspect in the police department murder? They're not gonna arrest Detective Gumshoe, are they? Nah, that can't be true. Alright, Criminal Affairs Department. February 23rd, Police Station. Criminal Affairs Department. Wow, everyone looks deadly serious here. Well, there was a vicious murder of a detective down at the police department. Yes, but the same detective was also killed at the same time in the prosecutor's lot. Ugh. It makes my head hurt. Well, personally, if I remember correctly, I think the ID was switched. I think. But we'll have to figure things out from here. Well, first things first, let's go check out the police department crime scene. Yes, you sound dead set on investigating. But don't mess up or we could wind up dead. I doubt anyone wants more mysteries or dead bodies around here right now. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to help us much either. February 23rd, Police Department entrance. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. A detective did get killed here, after all. So, the evidence room, the scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is. She's like a kid at an amusement park. Oh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. Alright, guard station, let's go. Huh. Evidence room entrance guard station. What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room. So, beyond that door is the evidence room. The scene of the crime? It sure seems that way. Oh. What's wrong? It's those cacti. They're so prickly. So imposing. It's hard to think straight. If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is, where's the caveman? Sorry. I just love skooks. What I want to know is, if this is a guard station, where is the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. Yeah, me too. The evidence room is beyond that door. Let's just walk in. It won't open. You thought it'd be open? I think we need someone's permission to go in there first. Oh, okay, the door is also part of the keypad. Look at that trap. Look, on the floor, lasso. Hmm. Looks like it's set up to trap something. A trap? Here? Wait, I know. Maybe someone was trying to catch a wild bull in here. But the lasso missed. You sure have an active imagination. Christ, look at this fucking place. The swinging door makes the place look like some kind of saloon. But look, it's nailed shut. You can't get in that way. Of course not. If you went in through here, the cactus would fall over. Ouch. I'd say it'd be more of a year myself. Okay. It looks like there's a video feed from the evidence room here. There's a light blinking below the monitor. It says recording. I bet we could use this computer to check on who went in and out of there. Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually. Shame is, ain't nobody here. So where the hell is Marshall? There's a security guard uniform hanging here. Looks more like a costume than a uniform, honestly. A leather jacket, leather pants, leather... What was that called again? A punchy? A paunchy? A pinchy? I know, a poochie. Wait, maybe that wasn't it. It's a poncho. But I think I'll keep that information to myself for the time being. He's just secretly taunting the 16-year-old girl in his head like, oh yeah, I won't correct it. I just want to see it slip up. Just for the hell of it. Yipes, these sure are prickly. They must be the real deal. I would think just one big one would be sufficient. These cacti are a lot like my sister, actually. How so? Encased in a cold, rigid shell, with spines pointing in every direction. Just like her. I'm not so sure I see the resemblance. It's more an attitude thing than a physical similarity. Yeah, Phoenix, come on, man. Get on board. Alright. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. I'm recording during the day. It's not my usual 2 or 3, like 2 in the morning recordings that I do. I just don't know where I'm... Oh. Okay, here we go. This place is charged with frantic energy, as always. Didn't we just say all this? Please. Huh? Wasn't that... One steak lunch, please. Oh, it's you. Ah, Detective Gumshoe. Now's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. Aww, poor Gumshoe. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Now's no time for despair. We've caught our criminal. Now we just need evidence. The criminal? You mean... Oh, right. Now I remember who the suspect is. I think it's Meekins is the suspect, yeah. You heard about the stabbing in the police department evidence room, right, pal? On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. It's the biggest scandal to hit the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch pronto. Sitting around here talking isn't going to fill my belly. But wait, don't leave. If you want to know more, head on down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there, having a good cry. Later. He ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is off to a running start. Alright, now we go to the detention center. We'll come here and there. February 23rd, Detention Center Visitor's Room. Still, I do feel better about things. A little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Best to not go too far down that road right now. Things will just get confusing. What was that? Sir, that's what I'm saying. Me, a perpetrator? I'd say I was the perpetrator again, sir. That's what I'd say. Hi. Greetings, sir. Yeah, this kid is really tall. And gangly. Wait, I know who you are. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. Officer Meekins. So you're a guard here at the detention center? No, sir, I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman, like a lost little lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report? No, sir, how should I say this? Wait. He isn't, is he? You, Officer Meekins. You didn't, did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir. What? What? Now, this is an unexpected turn of events. Yeah, you notice his left hand is bandaged up too, right? Just like Lana Sky's right hand was all bandaged up. Interesting, eh? Sir, I'm a patrolman with general affairs, sir. Sir! Do the needful, sir! Ow, I can hear you fine, Officer Meekins. I had some business that day, sir, and so I went to the evidence room, sir. The guard stationed in front of the room was empty, sir. So normally there's a guard at the evidence room? That's right, sir. Because evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Now, the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Marshall? Then, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir! A suspicious person! Yo, whoa, 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 whoa. What the heck is this guy doing? So what happened then? After that, sir, everything went white. I saw red. I blacked out. And when I came to, I was here, in the detention center. How long were you out? Days? Didn't he deliver a report after the crime happened? Might I ask, what happened to your hand? Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could to wrap it up, sir. A bandage on his hand. Just like Miss Sky. Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office. First things first. Tell us how you hurt your hand. Yeah, his story already doesn't make sense because if he got knocked out in the evidence room and then woke up in the detention center, then how the hell did he deliver the report to Edgeworth or attempt to deliver it when the crime had already happened by then? Because they both supposedly happened at 5:15 at the same time on the same day. Right? If we're following the case correctly, isn't that what happens? I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out. The truth will come out during the trial, as always. I don't mean to pry, but you are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Sir, please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir! If you have to label me as a perpetrator or victim, sir. Also, thankfully he's not a recurring character as far as I know, but he is. With that fucking megahorn, he is actually way more annoying than Wendy Old Bag of Lot of Heart. I forgot all about this guy. I repressed the memories. Then label me victim. I would, but you happen to be in detention. And alive and well at that. Ah, yes, well that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, if I had to label him as a stranger, or a total stranger, then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So, you didn't know him? Sir, I work in a tiny department devoid of light or other creature comforts. I don't know any detectives. So, if he was a total stranger, why did you stab him? Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir, none. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. At least someone around here is more confused than I am. About your hand, did that happen during the course of the crime? Well, you see, sir, don't you think you should just confess? But sir, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do? Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed that knife at me, I just hollered, sir. And the next thing I knew, I was unconscious. The next thing you knew, you were... Huh? Then when I opened my eyes... Sorry, I think somebody played loud music outside for a second. I was alone in the evidence room, sir. All alone. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared. What? Then when I looked down, I was gushing blood from my hand, sir. Oh, the shock. Oh, the sorrow, sir. Can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared? That's some story. That is some story indeed. Let's see what else he knows. Officer Meekins, this is for you. I'm scared of knives, sir. It's okay, I just wanted you to take a look at... That's it, sir! Last night, sir, that's the one. I was an apple, sir, in my dream, sir, and I was being peeled. On second thought, you don't have to look at the knife. He's overreacting to the knife, but I guess he's been through a lot. Let's see. Maybe... No, he probably won't know anything about the SL9 case. He's a rookie. Do you think you could take a look at this? Hey! That's it, sir! That's it! That's it! That's what? My head was a blank until this very moment. But, sir, now I remember. I remember, sir. You mean you remember what happened? Correct! That card was the cause of it all. This ID card? Exactly, sir. That's exactly it. Nothing could be more exact, sir. Nothing. I'd better pry into this one a little deeper. Can you tell me what it is you do remember? Well, sir, you might say I'm a little lost patrolman. A lost little lamb, if you will. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman, who was in the evidence room. And that's why you thought he looked suspicious? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show me his ID card. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. What? Sir, I assure you I was as flustered as you are right now. So I whooped and leapt at him. Detective Goodman pointed a knife at him? Do unto others before they do unto you. My own father's words, sir. This guy is killing my ears. It's worse with headphones on. It was only mildly annoying coming out of the DS speaker back in the day. Now it's with headphones, it's worse. But what happened then? Well, my eyes, sir. Everything went white. When I awoke, I was here. Right. So, Officer Meekins, why was it that they arrested you? What do you mean, Emma? Let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman, and the victim whom he met at the scene of the crime didn't show his ID card. In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. That's it, sir, that. That's what I wanted to say. That is, I did say something along those lines. Huh? But you still ended up here? They told me that it had to be him, sir. On that day, at that time, Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. But you don't remember the events clearly? No, but the videotape is quite clear. Huh? Videotape? From the security camera. The crime, my crime, the crime I swore to stamp out. It's there, it's me, it's on tape. And you waited until now to tell us this? I'm sorry, really sorry, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. He's not the brightest crayon in the Crayola box. No, thanks. I have my own. Well, I guess we better go check out the crime scene. Not the brightest Crayola in the crayon box. Is Marshall not here yet? Oh, so, okay, something changed here. February 23rd, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Hey, Mr. Wright, look who's standing at the Chief of Detectives desk. It's Police Chief Gant. And you're sure this is all, hmm? You know what it means if there's anything missing. Sir, I'm sure it's most likely totally perfect. We checked all of his drawers, lockers, garbage cans, bags, coat pockets, hats, under his seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside his personal coffee machine. I see. Well, if anything does turn up, you call me right away, deal? Yes, sure. We'll scour the place again, sir. The Chief of Detectives looks a little flustered. Aha! Righto, my boy. How you been? Swim much? Oh, Chief Gant. Reporting for duty, sir. Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? Is Edgeworth going to be okay? Oh, Worthy? Oh, you know, they're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yup, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boy since last year. You mean the incident on Gourd Lake? It doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defendant's seat, does it? And you got someone else found guilty in that case, right? Righto? Von Karma. A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. But in court you fixed it so he was caught for forging evidence. Wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence. In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of turmoil, you might say. Why, they do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy. What? It's downright odd, I tell you. The detective getting killed on their turf too, I mean. They're being the prosecutors, I assume. Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says. What evidence is this? Now, Righto. I can't give away all our secrets just like that. And this in particular, well, it's a little sensitive, and I can't talk about it. I wasn't expecting much anyway. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets. Can't stand them. But you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the Chief of Detectives' trap shut. Ah, he was the one you were picking on earlier? Huh? You saw that. Whoops. I wonder what it was that he wanted the Chief of Detectives to do. Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. I was wondering, could you take a look at this? Ah, sorry, Righto. I'm through with that stuff. Through, I say. Go find that guy who can't seem to sit still out there. The busy one. The guy who can't sit still. Does he mean Detective Gumshoe? Either him or the dancing blue badger. Is there nothing else I can do with this guy? Yeah. Okay. Well, enough about him. Oh, never mind. Oh, I forgot I could actually come here. Okay. February 23rd, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Well, this place is as classy today as it was yesterday. And I'm sure it'll still be just as classy tomorrow, Emma. Incidentally, Edgeworth's not here. I'm sure he's off doing important investigations. I hope that's what he's doing. I guess we'll have to come back. Huh. There's gonna be something I have to talk with Gant about. Okay. There's gonna be something. He only had 2 topics of conversation. Maybe if I examine this guy. Oh, sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the chief of police want you to do? Well, see over there? That's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. They took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here? Of course not. Well, except for this. What? You kept something? Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. A lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something? The date on it is February 21st. Better make a note of that just in case. Goodman's lost item report. I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. We haven't been able to do it yet, is a thing. He keeps saying, let's go to the crime scene. Nobody's there. We can't get in. How am I supposed to investigate the crime scene? If nobody's here for me to give them the thing so I can do the things. It doesn't make sense. You see? Nobody's freaking here. Alright. So yeah, I did say that it could only be submitted to the chief of police. And that's Damon Gant. So let's see what he thinks about it. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. Oh, wait. Interesting. So he started writing this lost item report out, but look at the ID number. He started doing 59, but then he crossed the 9 out. But you see, that doesn't match the ID number of this card. Which this card is 58. So I was right. Well, it doesn't mean much since I've played this case before, but I'm pretty sure that this ID, like the picture, has been switched out with Goodman's. And Goodman's ID number is like 59. Oh, here we go. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Well, I never thought the day would come when Righto asked me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. He has a habit of making you uncomfortable. Now, Righto. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't need to investigate after all. Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, could I borrow $50? I'd give them $50 no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out! It just goes to show you never know until you ask. And for you here, you could borrow this. Hey! This is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. Yes, sir, it's an honor. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. Heh. It looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. You seem happy. Yes, sir, because, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. Alright. Oh, we don't actually get the card as evidence. Okay. This map is kind of large and confusing sometimes. The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha! The card reader is turned off, see? What is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well, well, what's made my Bambina sky so gray? Officer Marshall. Why does it have to be him? What's that why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this is my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeah! That card you got there on your chest? That's better than a sheriff's badge. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw! Well, what are you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scene's awaiting. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. He's being an absolute asshole right now, but... That smell. What's that smell? It's blood. Reminds me of blood. Sorry. Reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas. No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, Miss Starr. What's this? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch. I see, I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask him anything. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. Yeah, I figured that's kind of a signal. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. Ah, that poor little doggy. Poor guy. I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know? So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. No, he was riding down the highway on his horse, named Zippy. There's no need for people here, anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take to machines much. Kind of like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know. Miss Stars told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Star, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? The day of our case. That's right. The evidence transfers. Edgeworth was talking about the transfers too. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in there do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. Thus the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So this is the ID card record. Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambina. I can't show you more than that. Huh? I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Alright, so we just have to show the ID card, and we should be able to get that as evidence. Sorry, but can you explain what this whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So, what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's department. Wait a second. Wait a second. That's not even, now that I think about it, that's not even consistent with the last case we did. Because fucking, Von Karma was walking around with, yeah, Von Karma was walking around with, evidence from the DL6 incident, and the DL6 incident happened 15 years ago. So weren't the evidence of... Oh, I know. That wasn't considered a solved case. That wasn't a solved case, so maybe that... Yeah. I guess that was it. Okay, never mind. Never mind. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. And that happened to SL9 2 days ago. I keep hitting A to present, but it's Y. See this? This is the victim's ID card. Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot? The number on this is 584-2189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Look, the fourth number. It's a perfect match. It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only two of them. There's only one of them cards in the world. So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. But wait, what did Officer Meekin say? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. If he had his ID card then, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? Alright, compadre. Alright, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. IDs of all who entered the evidence room on 2/21. I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Alright. We'll do that after we investigate the crime scene. February 23rd, evidence room, Sector 3. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room. It really is kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Hey! Hey! Whoa! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So is it true what I heard? Righto, please. Do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asks me, sir, could I borrow $50? I give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true. So, Chief of Police Gant. Will loan anyone $50? Even me? Oh, so that's what you were talking about. I know, right? It's $50! Oh my, I want this one, and I want that one, and I want that one. Oh my god. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day. But guess what? You got permission from the chief. So now you're boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you want to have this. Evidence room floor plans added to the court record. Okay. So, Detective Gumshoe, you're boss for the day? That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation again. I'm adamant, though. I'm gonna take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Of course. I am a detective, after all. They gave me a locker that only I could open, pal. Only you could open? I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective could open it. Using the ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my third card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coated with a fingerprint. So the only locker we can open is our own. Funny. They look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, zap, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. I see. Let's present the SL9 thing. Detective Goodman's note and that switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know. 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there's some loose ends left on that case. Now that was a bloody violent case. Violent? So it was a murder? A serial killing? A serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight, and started the rumor mill. Rumors. About forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So that switchblade knife... The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? No, don't move. We want to examine. Alright, let's see what we got here. What's this? Blood? It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. It looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright, what if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use a testing fluid to check it out. Look, this one's open, and the red indicator above the door... The red indicator light above the door is lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker. Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'll be hard to get it open again if we close it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Someone left a glove here, but only one. SL911. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal. Making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? Oh, it does have a tag on it. Rubber glove added to the court record. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try to put it back together? Huh. Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Oh, right, this... Yeah, I remember this. The thing with the two handles on the side. Okay. This might... No. There's that. Yeah, this one is... No? That ain't it. No, that's the top. That's also a top. Yeah, isn't that... That's not it, is it? Oh, wait, no, this one. Here it is. And then this one. And then... This one. Oh my god. Detective Gumshoe, these pieces aren't even big. Or aren't even small. I don't know how you had trouble gluing this together, or putting this together. And voila. Oh, we're missing it. We're still missing a piece, huh? Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I kind of understand how it got broken. Oh, we can still investigate that? If you put these pieces together, it makes a jar. There are two things that bother me. One, why are some of the pieces missing? Two, doesn't it seem a little unstable? No wonder it broke. I'll make sure to remember that next time I make a jar. What is the saw and paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger? Well, you might say this is my studio. Here? In the evidence room? Yeah, that's a... Detective Gumshoe, what are you doing? This place is stuffed with evidence. Stuffed with dreams. I'm not so sure about the dreams. Huh. It won't open. Did you really think it would? Hey pal, the security is high-tech around here. Okay. I don't think I have to present, but let's... Ah, here we go. I knew it. This is someone's right handprint. What? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine. It's yours? Please. You have to help me. When they come to take me away, promise you'll testify that I won't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me. You can't trust the police. What? But you're a detective. That's not exactly reassuring. Ah. And that, my friends, is the real crime scene right there. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien? This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you should have asked. Well, the blood itself isn't blue. No blood there. I think... Oh, wait. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch the spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What, this? It's called Luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow 50 bucks from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I better jot this down on the floor plans. Is that everything? I think that's everything. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's all the bloodstains in the room. Yeah, it's pretty cool how they added in these investigative elements here. Okay. Now let's see. We got a whole ton of evidence now. Alright. Ah, shit. Where do we need to go after the transferal? Oh, yes. He's got an ID badge, right? Now we need to get down to brass tacks and investigate the ID card stuff. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumors. So, it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa! What is it? That second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. What? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? There's a whole lot of what? I imagine it sounds better if you go, Nani? But, you know, we're not Japanese. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? Hey, pal, look at the time. Was it something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm gonna go give him my report for the day. It might help, you know. That's a restaurant flyer, isn't it? Oh, that guy on the restaurant flyer is from, he's actually from the next game in the series. You see? That proves that I'm telling the truth about the case being, you know, an addition after the fact. Well, it'll prove it once we go to the next game and see the actual character. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he could use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Yeah, there was another reference to a later game. We barely caught it. It was in the frame when I'm trying to put my words together here. When Detective Gumshoe's locker was open, it was in the frame. Like, he had a picture of a detective girl that he kind of, I think, if I remember correctly, he has kind of a crush on, or had a crush on, in his locker. I think. Oh, wait, Meekins has ID. Let's find out what Meekins' ID number is. Officer Meekins, can you take a look at this? I'm sorry, sir. Really sorry, but I have no idea what that is. Maybe you should ask Mr. Edgeworth, sir. He's passing the buck, Mr. Wright. It takes a special kind of man to pass the buck to Edgeworth. Okay. I guess we're gonna go see Edgeworth, which... let's see. Maybe she'll have some idea. Oh, never mind. She does not care. I figured maybe because she was a former detective, she might recognize the number on there. Ah, well, I guess it's all Edgeworth. February 23rd, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. The bellboy from the Gatewater Hotel? Ah, guess. My apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here? There, sitting by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Ah, yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. So, how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes. Apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened? They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police Gant. I could do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you, why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still. Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right? It all has to do with that case you were on. The SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You were the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth. Why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. Since we're already here, we might as well do this too. Oh, right. I'd better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage. Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief has never wanted to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I'd better make a note of it. Unrelated evidence. Screwdriver added to the court record. Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago, too, then. Wacky old coot. He was a top officer. It was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a deputy chief of police on the investigation? I was about to say, where's the caveman? Sorry. In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't? Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science? Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testing fluid, Well then, you might have use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? It's probably better... look, I like Detective Gumshoe, but it's probably better in our hands. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. I do too. Let's see. Oh, I still can't... Okay. I guess I still can't use it yet. That's fine. But it should be the last wing of the investigation. We're just gonna go back and check the fingerprints in the evidence room. February 23rd, evidence room, sector 3. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here, and this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use a secret weapon we just borrowed. Well, there were 2 handprints. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Oh, there's one here, too. Probably the index finger. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma started to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With enter. See? Ah. It looks like that did the trick. The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With E. Exciting, I know. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. See? Wow, that looks like fun. It might take some getting used to, though. See, in the DS version, the DS had a microphone built in, so you just blew into the mic. It's fine, I won't go up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I better give it a try. Let's fill it out a bit. Aha, you did it! You found one. But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mentioned it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Look at the locker door again closely. Yeah, to the left of the thumb. It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. Okay. Dust the shit out of it. There we go. That should be it, right? I mean, that's all we need, right? Yeah, it print's so clear, it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? Yeah, I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth. And point out the person you think left these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I can make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? Probably Dick Gumshoe. Yeah. Using 16 points of comparison. Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess it's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Yeah, that's the important one. Let's see. This is where we got a luminol fluid reaction, right? Right. There was a handprint here. Okay. Want to try using this? There go our eyes sparkling again. Yes. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Yeah, probably right there, right? There we go. Is that it? It's being kind of finicky, is it? Come on. There it is. That's quite similar. Oh, this is... This is Jake Marshall's. Why does Jake Marshall have a bloody handprint on an evidence locker in this place? Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Marshall's fingerprints added to the court record. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma. This is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The Luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain. But why would Officer Marshall? It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. To be continued. Another day, another long investigation, but we did get tons of evidence. Tons. We get like a whole second page here. Well, I guess tomorrow we're going to be doing another 2-part trial. Look at that. Trial former. And then there'll be a trial ladder. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think there's no other investigation after this, but I might be wrong. I guess we'll have to see. Shit, that might actually... No, wait, there is one more investigation after this. Because there's a place that we haven't been yet that I vaguely remember. Yes. But yeah, tomorrow we have another 2-part trial coming up. So expect the next 2 episodes to be a trial. And then I guess another investigation and then another trial. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Like I said before, this is a very long case. So I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit more drawn out than the other ones. This one is quite a behemoth. To the point where it kind of overstays its welcome a little bit. But that's alright. Anyways, let's wind down. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the trial. And, well, I hope y'all are enjoying. I know I am. Enjoying this walk down memory lane before we venture into new territory with Phoenix Wright 6, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and the Ace Attorney Investigation sub-series. We'll get there. We'll get there. Until next time, peace out, and have a good day. Bye-bye.